Hi, my name is Hailey, and I'll be interviewing LeAnne for our interview exam. And today I'm going to be asking you questions about your childhood.
All right.
So can you tell me about your earliest memory growing up?
All right, that's tough. I guess my earliest memory would have to be involving, well, I grew up on a farm, and so it's memories of farming. And my dad, after he would do all the chores in the morning, he'd come in and lay down on the living room floor and take a nap. And I had this thing with ears, and I would play with them a lot as I suck my thumb. And so as my dad would try and take a nap, I would be down there playing with his ears, sucking my thumb, like cuddling with him. So I think that's probably my earliest memory.
That's funny. On your farm, was it like a real farm, or did you have lots of animals?
Yep, it was a dairy farm, so we had a lot of cows and then some dogs and a lot of cats.
Oh, wow. Did you have like a special cow? Like my cousins have a cow. Or a cow farm, and they all have like one cow that they like the best.
Yeah, there was always like a cow that was my favorite, and I remember that my parents would let us suggest names, because we named all of them. They weren't just numbers, and I would always want to name them Jasmine or Spanky.
That's funny. Was there significance behind those names?
It was that was my favorite Disney movie at the time, and then Spanky from the Little Rascals. I used to watch that all the time.
So. What were the hardest moments you had growing up?
I would say probably started in high school. I went to a boarding academy. And so I had gone from being around my family and friends all the time to a boarding school that was about 3 hours away. So it was a really tough adjustment for me.
How come you went to boarding academy?
It's where my whole family had gone.
Okay. So it was just a legacy that they wanted to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Can you tell me about your best moments you had growing up? Any best memories or anything?
Probably hanging out with my siblings, and we would go out and because there's 5 of us total, and my oldest brother is 10 years older than me, and so there's 3 brothers, and I have an older sister, and so we would play in the river a lot, and we build forts, and so we were just always outside doing something. So.
Did you have like a special connection with one specific sibling, or was it hard because you had such an age difference?
Well, I was most connected with my sister because there's only 2 years between us, and so we're still really close. But when I was little, I was really close to my oldest brother, who's almost like a second dad to me. But now as adults, I'm closest to my second oldest brother. We just relate better.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. That's awesome. Do you have a 5-year plan?
I don't.
That's fine.
I guess my 5-year plan is having a job I don't hate, and I would like to be married for 5 years and starting a family.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any job areas that you're interested in?
I really want to help nonprofits.
Okay.
I would like to be in the forefront with getting them like fundraising and getting them started. But fresh out of college, I really just want experience, and so I'll take anything.
Yeah. Have you looked into any companies, or do you have a nonprofit that you're really interested in that you could?
I really like halfway houses. I have a soft spot for alcoholics.
Okay.
But
how did that come about? Does it interest you, or?
Just because, I don't know, I suppose it's some personal people I've known, and just how misunderstood they are and how society views them, and it's not always, you can't just pick yourself up from the bootstraps all the time, so just being able to be a friend of society's outcasts, I guess.
Oh, that's really great. Do you have a favorite book?
I have a lot of favorite books, actually. Right now, I guess my favorite is Pride and Prejudice, and it's been a steady favorite for a while.
Okay. How did you come about finding that you liked that book? Was it a sign, or?
No, actually, my mom loved the series. I think it was BBC did a mini-series of Pride and Prejudice, so we watched it all the time when I was little. And then the book kept on being suggested to me, but I didn't really want to take the time to read it. I'd never read anything by Jane Austen, so I was more into like fantasy.
Oh, okay.
and stuff. But then I finally read it one summer, and yeah, it was great.
That's awesome.
Best love story. Everyone needs a Mr. Darcy.
Yeah. Are there any books that you're currently reading?
Yes, I am currently reading The Fellowship of the Ring.
Is that a Lord of the Rings?
Mm-hmm. It's the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you read those before?
I haven't.
No.
So.
That's awesome. I'm currently reading Harry Potter. Have you read those before?
I have. I love them.
Okay. That's awesome. Do you have a favorite one of those?
Ugh. You know, I don't know if I do. I really like the third one.
Okay. Yeah, I love the third one too.
That I didn't want to finish the last one. It took me forever just because I knew once I was done with it, it would be over. Like, all the movies are out, and then that's all the books. I'm like, I don't want to finish it because I don't want it to be done.
Yeah. Did you read the books before you saw any of the movies?
No, I saw all the movies first. My mom was actually one of the people who were, like, against Harry Potter because of all the witchcraft and stuff.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, and so she didn't let us watch it when we were little. And so it wasn't until high school, and then she finally realized that she was being ridiculous, and I'm like, Mom, we're just going to watch it. It's not a big deal. And then I read the books. So.
That's good. Oh, that's awesome. So if you could spend the day with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
I'd have to say it would be my grandpa.
Okay. Is your grandpa alive?
He's dead.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. I never actually knew him. He died when my mom was about 26.
Okay.
So I never had a chance to know him. But I just, from things my mom tells me, I feel like we have a lot in common.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it would just be really awesome to see what we did have in common, and just be able to spend the day with him would be amazing.
Did any of your siblings know him when he was alive?
My oldest brother knew him for a while, but he doesn't have very many memories of him.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so you grew up in the 90s. Do you have a favorite 90s song?
That's so hard to pick.
I know.
I guess, I don't know if it's my favorite 90s song. I just think it sums up the 90s really well. Is MMMBop.
Okay, yeah. That's from the band Hanson. Did you like them a lot, or was it just because that was a popular song?
I liked them when I was, like, really little, and then moved into NSYNC.
Did you go to any concerts growing up?
I didn't, but they were just at, I think, the Minnesota State Fair, 2 years ago.
I heard about that.
And my cousin was working at the fair, where she was with a radio station, and she got to see them, and I was so jealous.
Oh, that's awesome. What radio station was she with?
Cool 108.
108? Yeah, that's awesome. So you've never been to a concert ever?
No, I have, actually.
Okay.
My first concert was a Kiss concert.
Oh, do you like Kiss?
Yeah. I liked them enough to go to it, and it was really fun. I mean, like, they're old, but they put on a pretty good show, and it was really fun because there was a lot of like people your parents' age there, and like just seeing them like giving it was kind of fun.
That's awesome. Have you been to any other concerts?
Brad Paisley.
Okay, are you a big country fan?
No.
So how did that concert come about?
I do like Brad Paisley.
Okay.
I'm just not a big country fan. And I was in Texas on a class trip, and we went to a rodeo.
Wow, fun.
Yeah, and he performed at the rodeo. So.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. I've never been to a rodeo.
Very country.
So if there was a movie made about your life, what actress would you want to play you?
Emma Watson.
Oh, that's a good one. How come Emma Watson?
I just love her.
Okay. Yeah. Do you find yourself similar to her? I know she's a very big women's rights activist.
I like to think we're very similar.
Okay.
I mean, I'm biased towards that because I want to be like her, so I just think I am.
Mm-hmm. So who do you hope to, or what do you hope to be remembered by in your life? That's a tough one. You can take some time if you need.
I hope that I'm able to live up to, that I don't just get a job for the money, that eventually I do move on to healthy nonprofits, and I hope that I'm remembered for the care I gave.
That's awesome, yeah. Do you have any memories growing up when you did something bad? Like, were you an inherently bad kid?
I wasn't. In fact, my mom, she did spankings.
Okay.
And I've only had to get 5 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you remember them vividly then?
Yes, and one specifically, I had this dress, and it was my favorite dress.
Okay.
And I wanted to be able to wear it at home, and I knew if something happened to it, if got ruined, then it'd become a home dress. So one day, my mom was in the kitchen, and I sent down to the living room, and I got some scissors, and I took my dress, and I cut a little hole in the bottom of it. And as I'm cutting this hole, my mom comes in and catches me, and I don't know if I ever actually got spanked for that, but I wasn't able to wear the dress anymore. She took it away, and I only wore it once, so it was pretty traumatic for me.
Oh, I bet. Do you remember any other times?
Once was I slapped my sister because we were drawing on like a dry erase board, and we had a line in the middle, and she kept on going over the line up to my spot. I was like so mad, I just smacked her.
Do you have any like a really fond memory that you always think of when you're sad or when you're trying to think of something good? Yeah. Could be from any time. It doesn't have to be from your childhood either.
Right. I guess it always goes back to the farm. It seems I have a really big connection to it. We rotational graze. We were organic for the last 5 years that we farmed. Okay. And so I never got up early enough to go get the cows from the field. But at night I would take them out for my parents, and so I'd be right on the four-wheeler because it was a couple miles sometimes. Well, I guess not a couple miles, but it was a walk. Yeah. And so I would take the four-wheeler out there and drive behind the cows as they'd walk out, and it was just so peaceful and quiet with like the sun setting, and it was always just like my time to like reflect and just be by myself, and it was nice.
That's awesome. Is there a memory, or not a memory, a lesson that any of your siblings or your parents taught you that you would want to pass on if you had children?
Yeah, it's hard to really pinpoint just one, I guess. Like that line from Bambi that if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Oh, I didn't know that was from Bambi.
Yeah, I think it's what Thumper says or something. But, yeah, my mom always, because like there was 5 of us and we'd get really, really hateful towards each other, so she made up this song about it.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
And so that's always just really stuck. Like yeah.
Well, speaking of Bambi, did you have any favorite movies growing up?
I loved all the Disney princess movies.
Okay.
And I remember my first, actually this is probably my earliest memory, is The Lion King when it first came out. My aunt took us to the theater to go see it.
Okay.
And so I can remember, so that was always one of my favorites. And I can remember, I don't remember the movie specifically, but I remember being in the theater and it being really crowded and then it getting really dark and then that big sun coming up.
Oh, yes. That's funny. Is there anything that you would like to add or say anything about your childhood or?
No, it was just, farming is a great way to grow up, and I just think that sometimes in our fast-paced society, we really lose touch of family and kind of we don't value it as much anymore, I feel, sometimes, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time out to let me interview you.
Yeah, no problem.
That was
Thanks
great.
for interviewing me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.